know I don't want you, want you. You bad and you know it, don't you? You bad and you know it, don't you? She always say, boy, you know I don't want you, want you. You bad and you know it, don't you? Now you see.
Hey guys, this is LB, and you're listening to Love, Sex, and Lies. Tonight, my guests are Gabbie.
Hey.
Jeremy.
Hey.
Eddie.
What's up?
And Cortney.
Hello.
All right, guys. So tonight's topic is young love.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got the under 30 crew up in the house. I was about to say under 20, but you know, y'all 20. They ain't that young. They're babies, but they're not that young.
Trying to play us.
Yeah. They're not that young, but they are young. But okay, so guys, I'm so excited. So let's talk. I'm really excited about this topic because this is the first time I've had the younger crew, you know, on the show doing their thing and answering questions. And I just like that. I just want to explain to the listeners that these guys are couples. So Gabbie and Jeremy are a couple, and Eddie and Cortney are a couple.
Right.
So just so you know, when we're talking about the dynamics of long distance and things like that. So my first question to you guys, and anybody could just jump in at any given time. I just want to know, because I'm aware that both couples dated long distance, had a long distance relationship. How was that, tackling that and maintaining that relationship long distance?
Well, I mean, for us, Jeremy and I, it was kind of difficult. I mean, because we met in college. So we met the summer before I went back to my senior year, like days after or before my birthday or something like that. So we got to know each other over the summer. And then after that, I went back to Hampton, and he stayed in Maryland, in Hampton, Virginia. So for us, it was like we had to get into find our battle rhythm in terms of like seeing each other. I'm in class, he's working. Am I going to see you this weekend? Like, are you going to come here? Because I'm a college student, I can't really come there. Like, how's that going to work? So
I want to say it was the same for us. It wasn't really so much of a big issue. Just trying to figure out like when we would see each other. That was the main problem.
Yeah, because it's hard.
Trying to coordinate with each other's schedule and such.
Yeah, yeah.
I ain't care. I'm popping up.
So you get pop up visit?
I mean, not necessarily pop up,
but you want to just see him.
He would tell me, "Don't come this weekend. You came last weekend. No, I'm gonna come anyway."
Okay.
So I'm gonna be there.
I wouldn't do like pop up.
No, she didn't mean pop. She was just like he was trying to save her money probably,
right?
Yeah.
And she was like, "Don't worry about it. I still want to come."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would pop up as pop up goes.
No, because he legitimately popped up one time,
and I would take off work. I would make this necessary sacrifices in the beginning. You know,
you gotta do what
to make it work. You got to put your bid in early, and when you're dating, that's what you're doing. You're putting your bid in and make sure that you are making that face-to-face interaction. Because without that, then somebody else can take your spot. So
that's right.
In the beginning of that, that's what you got to do when it comes down to long distance.
But then we also like FaceTimed.
Yeah, I mean, because we are since we are younger, we have those technologies that others don't. Like the older crowd didn't have.
This is true. Because I did a long distance relationship with Gabbie and Madison's dad. He was in college, I was in high school, so I know what it's like. And I had to call a payphone at Virginia State University and tell somebody to answer the phone and say, "Oh, can you go to room number? What's the such?" And knock on the door and tell him the phone is for him. Yes, that's how we did it back then.
Wow.
And then he did a collect calls to it was so different from what you all have. You're right, because you have iPhones, you don't have to worry about that. Skype, you're all kinds of technology that you
all
are.
the time.
Yeah.
So you get to still see each other. So the distance is just the distance for real, because technology has made it so that you can still see each other's faces, and you're not going months or weeks without seeing each other's faces, right? You're just dealing with the distance of not being able to be in each other's presence physically. Every day or every other day or weekly. Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Or like and then it was also like what you were saying, Eddie, like finding the schedule based on everybody's schedule, because we might be still in school or whatever. So I want to go to a party, but maybe that's Jeremy's downtime because he was working.
I was working at nights.
Working nights. So nights was the only time I really got to talk to him. So I was just like, but I really want to go to this turn up. So
choose your battle.
Right. Like, can I squeeze this in before I go to this pregame? And talk to him then, and then I'll just call you once I leave the party if I'm not too turned up, like how that works. But
so with you guys, Eddie and Cortney, did you guys, You didn't go to the same university, right?
Nah, we met in middle school.
Y'all met in middle school.
What?
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
And then y'all got back. So did you finish school first and come up?
Well, we really didn't start dating until like high school.
Okay.
And 9th, 10th grade, and then after 10th grade, it broke off. And then we met up when I went to Miami not too long ago. She was there also. And then we just started talking again. And then from there, it just
connect.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
so
great.
nice.
So let's move on to that nice little story. Let's move on to like what some of the challenges you guys face as young couples in 2018 with everything that's going on with social media, or, just different things, people sliding into your DM, those kind of things. I'm just going to combine social media with the challenges that you all face, because we got to touch on social media, and we may talk back about it later on. But right now, I just want to know, what are some of the challenges you think you guys face dating and trying to stay faithful within that realm of today's thirsty people?
I mean, social media is a great platform that can be used in so many different ways.
Absolutely.
As it relates to sliding in DMs and being in a relationship, I think it really boils down to your relationship, not necessarily what the person is saying or that individual that slides in your DMs. Having that cohesive and having that communication with your significant other, like somebody just saying, "Hey, what's up?" could be blown out of proportion if you don't have that kind of communication in your relationship.
That's true.
Somebody sending you nudes or something like that can be blown out of proportion if you're not having those conversations with your significant other, saying like, "I don't know this chick."
Because you're going to get this serious side eye, and I'm going to count to 2, and you need to explain to me what's going on, because I'm going to go from 0 to 60, and then we're going to have a situation.
That could be somebody crazy just trying to destroy the relationship.
And I think that's where we fall into now. I think a lot of people don't realize that there are really a lot of females, even males for that matter, that will look and scope on social media or any kind of like platform, or just see you out in public if that's where you frequent, and say like, "Oh, I saw such and such here," and try to like just put some kind of bug in their ear and say like, okay, to kind of get that relationship kind of rocky instead of like building that relationship up.
That's because they want that relationship.
Right, they want that relationship.
Yeah.
They want to see themselves in that relationship, and if they can't get it, then nobody should have it. So I think individuals do that.
Yeah. Well, 2 things for me. One, I don't post too much. So there are pictures of him on my social media, but I don't like to give people too much insight on our relationship. Just because people are messy.
Yeah.
And they try to do things to, pick at the relationship or whatever.
Yeah.
But secondly, I really legit trust him.
Yeah.
And so people have tried to, I guess, come in between our relationship or whatever via social media, but I trust him. In the past, I'll be like you, 0 to 60, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm in the place right now because I know that we're not just dating to date, that I'm going to let you handle it.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, when I see that you not handling it the way you need to handle it, then I'm going to handle it. But as long as you do what you need to do, I'm going to let you handle it. And I'm going to be cool about it.
I agree. I'm like that with Jeremy. Because when we first started dating, we were 21. So my temper was wild, all types of wild and crazy.
Wild and crazy.
But at 27, it's not. I've grown. I have grown.
Yeah.
We
So
take steps.
Yeah.
steps, and then so like you said,
Baby steps to strides. I think we're full blown sprinting.
so that's why I was like, I'm like you, like. I trust Jeremy, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna let you handle it. Like, there's been girls who commented on maybe like some of his pictures, or like with the little heart eyes, and I screenshot, "Hey, you might want to handle that."
But I also think that's
But I'll
what
let
social media
him-
is for, though. I mean, it's a platform to post pictures to get. If they didn't have the emojis, that's what they're for.
I mean, I just
Right, it's a whole bunch of emojis.
But at the end of the day, you can't control somebody.
You
and what they do.
you
can
can't
be like,
control
okay,
the other
I'm in a
person.
relationship, but they can still be like, okay, I'm still gonna do this.
And
hard
that's
Yeah.
when you block them.
and that's what blocking.
And that's when you block them. Straight like that. Like that's when you block them.
I think you can't. To some degree, you can't control it.
Yeah,
for
right.
me,
That's
for
true.
me, personally. I'm because I'm private though. I think my level of privacy is so different from most.
Yeah, because
so,
you're weird about it.
Yeah, I'm really weird about it. So I've never posted any guy on social media, and I don't know that I would. But I'm different because I just think of social media. I think I have to use it because I need to build a brand.
Yeah.
But as far as my personal life, I try to keep it as private as I can. Just because people are messy and people are trying to figure out what's going on. But I think if you have a strong, trusting relationship and you guys are communicating and you know you've discussed these things, because you guys, Jeremy and Gabbie, post of one another. Not all the time, but you all do post.
Yeah.
And I just think everybody doesn't need to know everything you're doing in your relationship.
Right.
Everyone doesn't need to know every vacation you take together.
Right.
You know, some things I feel like you need to keep sacred between just the two of you. And it doesn't need to be shared with the world, because to me, I still refer to social media as the devil. I'll stand by that. And it is good in some ways. When it comes to relationships, if you're not strong,
if you don't have a strong base
in that relationship, and if somebody, and the other thing with relationships and social media is if someone in that relationship isn't being truthful, faithful, or honest, then it will come out in social media. It will, because whoever you're being messy with is going to get in their feelings,
right,
and it's and contact somebody that you're dating. Yeah. It still happens. It happens in your age. It happened when I was in my 20s. It happens when you're in your 50s. It doesn't change that whole part of it, because a woman hurt will, even a guy. I mean, it's happened to me just recently by a guy doing, sending something that wasn't even true. So you don't ever know, if someone's in their feelings and they're like mad, you don't know what they'll do to try to ruin your relationship. And it's not even just ruin your relationship, because for real, you shouldn't have been doing anything outside of a relationship in the beginning.
That wasn't a relationship.
So that wasn't a relationship. You can't call it love when you're,
not fully invested.
You're fully invested and you're cheating. So that's that.
I mean, but I just feel like social media can be tricky. But back to what Cortney was saying, like you have to genuinely trust the person that you're with. Like you have to have that foundation. And something that Jeremy says all the time is like you have to communicate. Definitely. And so like for us, like that was like what we had to like constantly work on, trying to figure out what we are going to communicate about, how to communicate about it, so that we're not pissing the other person off. You know what I mean? Like, so when someone does slide in your DMs, or I'm like, oh, like there was a time some guy wrote me or sent me a message or something, a DM on Instagram, and I'm like, Jeremy's right here. I was like, I don't know who this is. But he recognized the person. So I was just like, well, I don't know who it is. So who, but having that open conversation, because we did trust each other, it didn't turn into like,
you're trying to hide.
Yeah, like you're trying to hide something. I was like, no, I don't know who this is. So let's just talk about it right then and there.
Yeah, I mean, I look at social media as like use it for what it is. Like a lot of people manipulate it and do whatever they want to do with it. But instead of taking a Chris Brown approach, like you can take another famous person that doesn't really interact with other people that slide in the comments, slide in the DMs. Like if you take that kind of approach when it comes down, especially in your relationship. Somebody say like, "Oh, you looking real handsome," or "You looking real sexy," or "zaddy," or whatever it might be. Being in this relationship, like that doesn't necessarily matter. That person's just trying to get a reaction. Excuse me, just trying to get a reaction, and if they get that, they won. Yeah. But if you just like, I'm in this relationship, you're not. You're only on their social media. I get this person 24 hours a day. Then. That's what makes the relationship stronger in 21st century with social media.
Yeah, no matter what, people still gonna try and interfere with it. So you just gotta be able to be strong, and as long as you're strong together, they don't win. Just like Jeremy's saying. So you just keep on shining. People gonna hate regardless.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're good as long as you're being true to that relationship, and you really aren't doing anything outside of that relationship. I think it only hurt couples when one or the other or both aren't being faithful. Yeah. I just think that's when you have the bigger issues when it comes to relationships and social media. And I think when you already have issues or like established relationships, if you already have issues in that relationship, then it's easier for someone to get your attention because you're looking for someone to give your emotional part of you. You want to talk to somebody, you want to vent, and then that person's showing you some attention. So those kind of things can mess up relationships. But I think, when you're strong and you're going at it, like you guys are communicating, I think you're good, and it's fine as far as dealing with social media and the